I'm Sam.
And I'm Jack.
It's Dare to Talk.
Dare to Talk.
So we recorded a episode with my sponsor.
Yeah.
In Colchester. For you, those of you that don't know, a sponsor, when you go into recovery, AA and CA, you scan the rooms, you go to a couple of meetings, and when you connect with someone, you ask them to be your sponsor, and they take you through the 12-step program. Gary's my sponsor. I've now got a sponsee of my own. That's the 12th step. You can't keep it for yourself. You have to pass it on to other people in need in order to keep it. But it was a very interesting chat, wasn't it? What did you make of it?
It was amazing. I mean, you didn't really tell me a whole lot about Gary before we went in, and I was quite blown away by his story, and I think people can take a hell of a lot from what he's been through and where he is now. So that whole journey of being rock bottom and family turmoils, and
when he brought that letter out,
and that's probably the real focus of this episode is that letter. That was that was very powerful.
People will listen to it but they give you a real insight of not only the addict but the family and what they go through as
Massively.
well. It was very powerful.
Yeah.
Gary's an incredible bloke. This first season, or whatever you want to call it, of these interviews, I've wanted to get people that mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like every episode I'm just telling them how wonderful they are, but the people that I've had on are wonderful to me and inspirational, and he got me through the work, and he's done a lot, and I speak to him most days. I ring him up for advice, and now I've got a sponsor of my own. You want to get it right because it's someone else's recovery, and I just rung him because I'm taking him through the work, and rung him for some advice, and that's how it works. And I'm sure my sponsor will be ringing me for advice when he's taking someone else through the work. And
that's good.
That's what it's about. But it's a really powerful and interesting chat.
It's brilliant.
And then you come into
Do you know what, mate? In all honesty, reflecting on that now, I did feel. I think at first I didn't really know whether that was right for me to come into that.
Yeah.
Straight away I thought, fucking hell, well, I'm not an addict. I feel like I'm going to be a complete outsider, and I don't want people to think like I'm judging them or like thinking badly.
Yeah, for the people that don't know, I asked, but while we were up there, I was going to a meeting after, and I said to Jack, come into the meeting and get an idea of what it's about, because we'll probably end up having a few of them on the show and everything. And there has been other people who bring their partners and that in, and I just thought, well, Jack's my mate, we're going to be interviewing people. It'd be a good insight to have you in there. You were welcomed with open arms.
Oh, Christ, people couldn't have been nicer, but it was, goodness, that was a hell of an eye-opener. I think, I said to you before, I've been fortunate with my job to sort of see similar kind of environments or groups within my work and what I do for a living, but to go into one in the community like that and see these raw emotions coming out of people who are in the thick of it. And
what was you expecting, or did you not?
I suppose I was expecting a similar sort of environment.
Because a lot of people think it's like in the movies and stuff like that. Did you think it was anything like that?
No, it was more raw and real than that, and that was the first. I felt the emotions coming out of people.
You feel a lot of love in the room, don't you?
And you can, you can tell a lot by how the way someone's face, and you can read someone's emotions and the things that have been on. Every single person in that room, I could tell. I thought they've had a hell of a journey for them to come to that meeting and be in that environment. It was an amazing experience, and thank you for letting me come on.
Thank you for coming and showing your support. Since you've joined the team, everything I've asked you to do, you just jumped in with both feet.
Yeah, that's me, mate.
I love it. That's what I'm like as well.
Yeah. And there's a part of me that's kind of like, if someone asks you to do something, it's almost like that Jim Carrey film, that Yes Man. It's like, but if I say no, there's something inside me going, you idiot.
Yeah.
You idiot. So what are you saying no for? Just do it.
I'm like that as well, though. Yeah. But you got sometimes. That's why I said to you because we went and had something to eat, didn't we? And I said, if there is anything you don't want to do, don't make sure you do. But we're going up to. Where are we going?
Southend.
Southend to record one next week, I believe, at some point.
Yes.
Yeah. We've got some exciting guests lined up. I'm excited to share it with everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one is Gary's story, my sponsor. So enjoy, guys.
Enjoy.
And we've got Gary here today.
Hi, I'm Gary, I'm an addict.
Yeah. This is Gary. This is my sponsor. I've asked him to come on the show and talk about his experience and what he's been through. Gary's done a lot for me. We're going to do the intro at a later date, but Gary's done a lot for me personally. He's quite modest about it, but he's been a big part of my recovery, and that's why I really wanted him on the show. And I'm glad you could come on for me. Cheers, Gary.
Thanks, Sam. Good to be here, and you know, my story's my story, and that's all I got really.
Yeah.
It could be described as my experience, strength, and hope now that I'm at a place of peace and tranquility in my life, with some clean time under my belt that I thought would never happen really, because I still describe myself as a hopeless addict, and you know, today I'm a hopeless addict that just doesn't pick up drugs or drink or use anything I can help without changing the way I feel, because I need to feel how I feel, because I drunk and used drugs to change that for so long, and it wasn't all darkness in my using and my drinking. It was, you know, it was a lot of really good times, and that's the problem. You want to hold on to them good times, or for me, that's what I wanted to hold on to.
Take us back to the start then, how it started and when it got out of control, and we'll do this like a share sort of thing. From the start to when you've done your share. I've listened to your share the other week. You've been my sponsor for a while now, and I listened to your share, and that's why I wanted to get you on it, because I thought people need to hear that, because that room was lit up after your share the other week, and there were so many emotions in the room, and I thought, get it recorded, get it out there, and that can help a lot more people.
Yeah. So where did it begin? It's sort of, you know, the same teenage silly stuff as anybody: weed, alcohol, leading on to LSD, party drugs, which was ecstasy for me, speed, and it was just the norm. It's just what kids do, but it's actually not what kids do. Well, it shouldn't be what kids do, because it's gateways, isn't it? And then we accept that that's, as humans, we can take drugs, and that we're not immune to, or we think we're immune to addiction at that stage, because I never thought I would be an addict. Now, I can remember looking back since I've been clean and looking at I was an addict in lots of ways. I had a terrible gambling addiction when I was younger, so out of hand it was. I used to steal off my parents to gamble, if it be on the horses or if it be on fruit machines. Fruit machines were a real killer for me. They really took me to some depths as a young person, because what I later found out about gambling on fruit machines is fruit machines don't have a personality. So I'm not looking at somebody who's taking all my money, like playing cards with my pals. A fruit machine has no emotions, and I used to be stuck in front of one for hours and hours, if it be in a cafe, a bus depot, or in a snooker or pool bar. And I can remember thinking, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I couldn't help myself. And even in my 20s, when I had a club in Colchester, I used to lock the door and play my own fruit machines. You know, the money was ours. It was my family's money, and I'd be doing £200-300 in it, and you know, I knew I was in trouble then. I can remember planning a burglary on our own snooker club to cover what I was putting in the fruit machine, just so I didn't have to live with that guilt and the shame of owning up to my father, my sister, who was partners in that club with me, that I'd put all the money out of the cash box into the fruit machine. And I can remember them feeling and not understanding why I would do it again and again, because I did, you know, on my own. It's like using on my own. I was also, as a lad, I was addicted to sugary things, you know, fizzy drinks and pastries, because they used to make me feel good, you know. And so the writing was on the walls really from a young age, but the consequences weren't really there for me. Obviously I got fat off sugary drinks and that, but the rave scene sorted all that out. So again, it was drugs had changed
Did
the way
drug-
I feel
drugs-
and look.
Did drugs replace your addiction for gambling, or was you
Alcohol changed my addiction for gambling. I
so
think
you were replacing one addiction with another?
Yeah, and I think I'd become. I think the shame of gambling really changed it. I started to gamble on myself, on my own abilities at snooker and pool, which was really good abilities, and I used to win quite a lot of money at that. I didn't like it when I lost, you know, and gambling was just nothing. I seem to have turned off a switch with gambling at some stage. I just stopped. I never stopped gambling on myself. I never stopped gambling with my life, with my sanity, because that's what drugs done to me as well. Because every time I put a drug in my body, I am gambling with my life, really. You know, especially the drugs that I fell into. Crack cocaine was my real love. You know, cocaine was like a fantasy relationship that I created, and I had that for many years, but it didn't really take me.
Yeah.
As soon as I'd done crack cocaine, it really got hold of me quickly and unraveled.
So there's the drink first, and then you went on to normal cocaine, and then it was the crack. Was it? How long into your drink problems did that start?
Well, drink. I never labelled drink as the problem.
Yeah.
Because I ran a sports bar, so it was my job to drink. It was my job to give other people alcohol, to sell alcohol, to drink it, and it would never run out. And
Yeah.
but I never really suffered hangovers because I drink again.
Yeah.
And drink's always been there. It's been there from the start, the middle, and the end. I love a beer. I love a gin and tonic. Do you know what I mean? I do love it, and I fantasise about that stuff still in my head sometimes. And I suppose the drug I miss today is cannabis. That was always there as well, from 16 up till I got clean, which was sort of 31 years of using cannabis.
But you know you can't use any of that because it would lead to other things.
It's a gateway.
Yeah.
It's a gateway in my head. I think that my head still tells me I'll be alright, but my brain tells me I won't be, because it's a program of total abstinence. And even so, when I was 7 months clean, I phoned and asked my sponsor, "Are you sure it's a relapse if I have a spliff?" Are you sure? He said, "Well, you can have one if you want, but it is a relapse."
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just not prepared to gamble
Yeah.
with my sanity today. I'm not prepared to gamble with.
Which is ironic because that's how it all started with gambling, but that shows how far you've come and how much you've grown, doesn't it?
It's just I can't believe where I'm at today.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that I can stay clean one day at a time.
Yeah.
I can't believe I can live in a solution and not give up that solution.
Yeah.
You know, recovery is by far the healthiest thing and the kindest thing I've ever done for me and anybody around me.
And the reason you stay so clean is because of how much you give back, and that is the 12th step. A lot of people won't know. I was telling you about it, weren't I? But the 12th step is to give it back, and I don't know anyone that gives it back as much as what you do, Gary. I know you don't like taking compliments, but you've done so much for me personally, but not just me. In meetings, what I've seen and the kind words other people have, and even in the meeting the other day, someone was laid up on their sofa, didn't want to come out, wasn't using, but you went through the back door and checked on them and that, and you're always giving back. This is because we're doing this is the longest I've seen you not on the phone to another addict. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I've turned my phone down.
But that is the 12th step, is giving it back, like you know, and that is why you've stayed so clean, because you're more than willing to do that. Like, you should be proud of yourself.
I am. I'm really, really proud of myself. But I'm more proud when I see others getting this stuff.
Yeah, and I'm
I'm proud of the people that come back after a relapse. I'm proud of people that lives light up.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've got that proudness for myself. But I have to be careful that doesn't turn into ego. Yeah. Because otherwise, I will be another victim.
Yeah.
Of a relapse.
If there's someone struggling listening to this now, and they're on a relapse, what advice would you give them?
If these people are on a relapse, is get yourself to bed, get yourself hydrated. As soon as you've stopped using, phone somebody, reach out. There's no shame in it. There's no shame in sitting in pain. You know, there's people in this world who do this fellowship, like Sam, like myself, that only want the best for you guys. You know, and it takes courage to pick the phone up after using. It really does. But that's the solution.
Do you think that could sometimes be harder for some people to come back into a room after a relapse? Because I know I would personally struggle with it.
I'll be honest, I don't know how they do it, but they do it.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful. You know, it says in our book, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, so it doesn't mean everybody's going to get this at the same time. Not everybody's going to get it first time round. You know, I know people who have had long-term sobriety, gone out there and they can't get back in.
Yeah.
I know people who've been in for a short while, had a relapse and they keep coming back. That's that keep coming back phrase that we hear so much.
Yeah.
Because that's the truth. You know, you don't get any sobriety if you don't keep coming back.
Yeah. Jack said to me on the way up here, why Colchester? And that's because my mate brought me to a meeting, and I connected. You connect with people, don't you, in the meetings? And I go to meetings in different places, but Colchester, from day one, is where I felt at home, and I connect with people. And he said, why Colchester? And someone said to me at the end of the Colchester meeting, keep coming back. And I thought, I'm gonna, for once in my life, listen. And that's what I've been doing. Do you know what I mean? And you're going to come and check out the meeting. Show your support and just get a bit more understanding. Like
100%. No, I'm up for that.
Yeah, it is a magical thing. Recovery. You set up these meetings in Colchester, didn't you? You've been going to where did you start off going to?
I started off my recovery in Ipswich. I started off in the treatment centre.
Yeah.
Which was great. Treatment centre was great. You know, but they're not everybody has that access to a treatment centre.
Yeah.
You know, I was quite fortunate.
Did you have to pay?
Yeah, we had to pay quite a lot. And was that the solution? No, the solution is what we do when we get home. You know, basically it would have been quite easy, and I see it a lot. People come out of a treatment centre, they think they're fixed, because they're throwing money at it, like typical addicts.
Yeah.
Throwing money at it. I feel better when I buy that fucking new car. I feel better when I buy that Stone Island jacket this week instead of using. But it's not a long-term solution. Yeah. I'm grateful for the treatment centre because it introduced me to this stuff. It told me what I had to do. It gave me this book.
Before the treatment centre, did you ever step foot in the room like we go in?
I did in Lowestoft about 3 years before, but I was using on the way there, I was using on the way back. I'm sitting in the meeting, eyeing up all the girls, asking people if they want to come and play pool in the pub afterwards, because I just didn't get it.
Yeah, he wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And then the judge took my licence for driving well out off my nut, and I thought, great, I ain't got to do their meetings anymore.
Yeah.
I'll show them that I can really, you know, I'm going to use, and it's your fault. I blame the judge.
Yeah, so you were going to the meetings to start with for other people instead of yourself?
Oh yeah, massively. Even though at that stage I did want to understand why I couldn't stop using, but I wasn't ready to stop using.
Yeah.
You know, we tried loads of times to stop using.
Yeah.
I went to jail for 3 years, and I didn't use in jail. I didn't use for 9 months when I got out of jail. And I started drinking alcohol. Within 2 weeks I was sniffing coke. Within another week of that I was washing up crack cocaine.
So you was like a dry drunk, they call it.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was fucking hard work.
Yeah. Did you have the opportunity to use in Jack?
Yeah, and I did, to be fair, I did use, I smoked cannabis a couple of times. I sniffed a line of ketamine. That's horrible, that's horrendous, but somebody told me it was coke. I also used Subutex ones, but it was the wrong environment for me. You know, my highs are like uppers. So nothing really suited me, but I can remember somebody saying they was going to get some crack smuggled into a jail, and my obsession was on it. It was like I would have done anything to get that bit of crack off this guy, and in the end it was only a scam. He was trying to round up people to give him some money for it on the pretense it was coming in. I can remember my obsession, and that didn't go. Even though I didn't use, my obsession didn't go for 6-8 weeks after that. I thought I was going to be feeding my illness.
Really?
And that's crazy. That's crazy. Even though I didn't use that obsession, I still believed him, even though I knew he was lying.
Yeah.
Because
you wanted to believe it.
I wanted that.
Yeah.
I wanted it. My head wanted it so much.
Yeah.
And even when I got out of jail, I wanted to use, and I didn't for a while. But now looking back, I was like a time bomb. It was waiting. You know, I was busy setting up a new business. I was busy in a new relationship, trying to get sort of myself sorted out. You know, that stuff that I thought would keep me fucking clean.
Yeah, that's
Get
what
my
your
own
head
place.
tells you,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
I've got this lovely girl I met. She's an amazing lady. And I thought, oh, well, I've only been out of jail 9 months. I've got an MOT centre, 30 cars on the lot. I thought, yeah, you know, this will fix me. This will keep me clean. This stuff, of course, it don't. All that done was make me content.
Yeah.
And then when I used again, it was like I'd not used. It was just horrendous.
Just grabbed it.
Yeah, and the using was never the same from that moment onwards. Lies. I was setting my partner then. It was just horrendous. But it didn't stop me doing it for another 9 years.
Yeah.
You know, every day. I can't control my thinking. If my thinking is telling me to go and fucking use it, you'll be alright. It weren't that bad. I'm going to believe it because it's my will. It's my thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
Was that just crack for that 9 years then? Or?
Pretty much. Listen, I'd shovel it up my nose as well before I can get it washed up. I'd shovel it up my nose if I thought that's what other people wanted to do. Nobody wanted to use with me. And yet I was a freebie for all. You never had to pay me. I had it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Money wasn't really an issue because I was committing crime. So it wasn't like I was ever going to run out, and that was another issue. You know, easy come, easy go. But the pain that was being caused.
The ice cream man.
The fucking ice cream man. I'm just thinking of the audio of that. Oh, God. People are going to think I'm taking the piss.
It comes round every time.
That was an ice cream van.
Yeah.
I stay away from the first one. You know what I mean? I wanted to be down there every day this time.
What I really want to ask is, sorry to interrupt,
right.
if I just obviously you've covered quite a breadth of time there, but I wanted to ask around a lot of people that I've got friends with who've got addictions and whatnot. It's a very personal thing that they have, but quite often they're linked in with social groups. So I wanted to know if there was any throughout this period, from the very early days to where you ended up. Was there always a social group around you? Were they aware of what was going on with you, or?
Not of anybody of any real substance for me, because I moved over to Woodbridge Way and to be with that girl. I'm one of them people, I can flick in any group, do you know what I mean? I don't need to be invited. I just land on it, and you know, I can just, I'm quite a nice fella, so I fit in. Now if you're quite a nice fella and you've got a big bag of coke and you're around anybody who's using or drinking, I can fit in.
Game on,
I can wander on, and I had this criminality side of me that people really didn't know who I was or what I'd done, but they just know I'm a slippery little cunt. That's long and the short. Then some people like that. Some people want to be around that. Some people look up to that. But actually, I was a person that was running on his own wheel, full of fear. So yes, I used to dip my toe in any social circle there was, and I could, as quick as I could dip my toe in it, I could move away from it and move into the next one. It's just, I'm quite a people's person, and you know, I suppose from running the bars and all that sort of thing, and from different experiences of life, of being in prison and all these things, you've just got this knack for actually, because I roam about on my own. There was no like, oh come on pal, I'll wait for you to come out. I'm out. I'm out on my own. I'd have a driver drive me about. He'd have to sit in the car. That's the sort of cunt I was. You can stay in the car because you're driving, and I'll be in the pub for 3 hours, and you better be here when I call you. That sort of thing. And you know, to me, it was like, that's how my life was. And I might not even ever come out of the pub. I might come out of the pub and get in somebody else's car and tell him to follow. You know, rude really, actually, but he was getting paid for doing it. I wanted to be doing what I wanted to do, and that was just focusing on smoking as much crack as I was. Being, should we say, unspiritual to my partner, because there was always other people involved. You know, I always wanted to feel a different pair of tits. I always did. You know, and that's rude, because I was in a loving relationship, but my relationship was a lot of pain that I used to use as well, because my girlfriend quite rightly couldn't accept who I was. She loved me dearly, but she couldn't accept the drugs that I used to take, and the drugs come first every time. Not just in front of her, in front of my children. It was just, when I look back, it was fucking carnage. My life was really unmanageable. But all you know, you can be as unmanageable as you want. If you've got a fistful of dollars and a bag full of your fucking favourite poison, you're just going to go on and on and on. You know, if your moral compass has been pointing fucking downwards now, you think, what the fuck, what the fuck, this is who I am, and you actually believe who you are. Even though that them times of solemn thinking when you look in that mirror, when you're so off your nut, and you just think, I hate who I am. The trick of my mind would be to go have a shower, put on a shirt, a couple of eggs, fresh orange juice, and I like who I am now. Do you know what I mean? And that was a trick that my mind played on me so many times. You know, I wasn't reliable. I wasn't honest. I never really wanted to hurt. I never went out in any one day to hurt anybody. But in any one day, I used to hurt everybody who loved me. And that's a bitter pill to swallow. You know, that peace of mind that I take off my partner, my kids, my parents. You know, and that's, unfortunately, that is just standard addict behaviour. We do that. The ripple effect. We don't want to think about it, because you're not with me. You're not walking in my shoes. I'm only hurting myself. All that fucking delusional thinking and justification for my actions, I believe. And I'd believe it because I'm fucking. I want you to believe it, so I've got to try and believe it myself.
How's your relationship with all them people you just mentioned now today?
With God's grace, my relationship with 99% of them people are all good. My relationship with 99% of people on this planet are all good. I don't get to speak to my ex-partner, but that's all right. I've made amends to her, and she said I don't have to apologise no more. I still want to make contact with her, but that's my selfish side, because I want to validate myself that I'm alright with her, and I'm not. You know, the girl wanted a life with me, and all she got was a person that you wouldn't want a life with. You know, and she's a good, reliable girl, but then I was seeking things in that relationship that just wasn't right, and I held on to that relationship for a long time. And I actually left that relationship. I'd done the right thing for the first time in my life. I let her go, and I didn't want to. You know, and it wasn't because I love it was because I'm actually a really loyal person, and I wanted her to have some good times, but it was God's will that wasn't to happen. And God bless Lorraine now. I hope she's really happy, and I hope the scars that I caused her are starting to heal, because that does pain me. You know, it's the one thing that I really want to be able to go and do, and sit down and have a chat with her. But she's not ready. She still speaks to my kids because she helped me raise my kids. You know, and she was the only person for a lot of years that was making sure Gary was alive on any one day. You know, and she did that very well, even though you know, she was quite cruel to me at times. Did I deserve that? No, but that's just how she was dealing with it at the time. So, God bless her. And you know, apart from that, all my relationships are pretty healthy today. You know, my kids are a massive part of my life, my family. and I've got a new partner who's never seen me use.
Yeah.
I've got relationships with just my work people. A lot of people work for me. I've got girls in my office and my PA. My relationship, it's just honest and open. And if you've got a relationship like that, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
You know, if you're reliable, supportive, honest and open,
Yeah.
you can achieve anything in a relationship with any one human being. And what I have found lately is it's okay not to look. People let you down. People let you down. I'm a fucking pride let down. I was in my illness, but people still let me down now. But I'm well, and I have to have acceptance over that. Sam knows a story about somebody who's really, really let me down and really hurt me just lately. And I'm having trouble losing this resentment towards this person, but I'm trying. Because old habits, old behaviours would be, I'd take this geezer away. He would, there's no two ways about how I'd have him wrapped up.
Yeah.
And I'm not prepared to risk or gamble my sobriety, my sanity, for the sake of somebody else's shortcomings.
Yeah. And that's a test as well, isn't it? That you can't take your eye off the ball, and you will get sent these little tests from time to time, don't you? But the advice you give others, sometimes you've got to listen to yourself, and that's the do you know what I mean?
They say the road gets narrower in this game, and it does.
Yeah. What was your surrender date? And what got you to that date where you thought enough's enough and I can't go on the way I'm going on anymore?
My surrender date was April 1st, 2019.
Yeah.
And drink and drugs and my mind got me there. I knew it was coming. I'd semi-surrendered lots of times. But I never had a solution. What got me there was it was Mother's Day 2019, which was a couple of days before that actually. So I think it was the 28th of March or 29th of March, and my mum didn't want me to be with her on Mother's Day. My ex, Lorraine, who I just spoke about, she just lost her dad Christmas before. She didn't want me to go over her mum's for Mother and Sunday, so I was using a big bag of coke, as much crack as I could smoke, and a bottle of gin and a noose, and I wanted to kill myself. My head had twisted me up, as the book says. That much that my thinking was not this is the only way out, but I'll show them. Do you know what I mean? Not like I'm not doing it because I want an easy way out. I'm doing it because I want to show them fuckers. How sick is my head? It's telling me that I'll show you what a selfish fucking self-centered disease I've got. And lucky enough, there was a bit of an intervention with my next door neighbour, who's in the rooms. He's probably just come up to 3 years in a few months, and I used to use and drink with him, James, and he's a good pal of mine, and he come and give me a little bit of kind words, but he never really had any answers for me, and I carried on using that day, and my mum turned up about 10 o'clock at night with my dad smashing me on my front door, me telling my dad to fuck off, because all he wanted to do was rant at me and point. I know what I am. I know what I'm doing to people around me, but I couldn't deal with it. And so I went and locked myself, like any big boy, went and locked myself in my bedroom for fucking until I thought we'd go, and my mum didn't go. And I'd run out of drugs sitting in the bedroom against the door. And I knew I had some gear left downstairs. So my head goes, right, pretend you want to go and say hello, get the gear and sneak off again. And my mum broke down. I've actually got a letter in here. This is quite, because I thought about it, it's just on the way down here. So my mum, obviously, I'm the apple of my mum's eye, you know what I mean? And I'll just read this. Is it all right to read this out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just to make this, we're really getting blood in this. This was sent to me March the 25th, which on 2004. It's the day after my birthday. Hi Gaz. Do you know that 32 years ago, approximately 6:40 on a Friday, the 24th of March, 1972 was one of the happiest days of my life. I'd just given birth to the most beautiful baby boy. You didn't have a name right away because it had to be right. We couldn't just name you. There were several, so we put them in a hat and decided that one that came out would be okay. That wasn't so because I think your dad pulled out Patrick. We looked at you and called you by the name of a couple of times. It wasn't right for you. Sainty you might be, but Paddy never. Anyway, we kept going until we both agreed that it was to be Gary. Then, of course, you become known to all your mates as Gazza, with the utmost affection of everybody that was ever going to come into contact with you. We adored you and still do, but you're making it hard at the moment, Gaz, as does all your family and indeed your friends. Everybody says what a smashing guy you are. Please hang on to that, Gary. To apologise for getting upset. Perhaps you remember several months ago when I needed your strength because of how Anthony was, and you told me that the only person that could help Anthony was Anthony. That indeed was probably true, but that did not stop us all from being there at the end of the phone or there to listen for a chat. As hard as it was for us all, we all got through it, but at great personal loss to Anthony himself. Anthony's my brother. I'm sure in my heart of hearts that you did not expect the outcome to be what has transpired with him and Ellie making his children victims of single parents. Gary, I will always be here for you, but once again I'm begging you to please stop this self-destruct mission you are on. Please have more respect for your lovely wife and your two children, but I know you love very, very much. Gary, I want my son back. I know he's there, but I can't quite reach him. To me, you seem like you're in a very deep hole, and our hands can't quite get to each other. You said to me yesterday, Gary, that you have never hurt anyone. Well, you're doing a bloody good job at that. At the moment of hurting very badly, I might add everybody around you that loves you unconditionally. By the way, Gaz, if it's any consolation, I had a shit day on your birthday as well. Can you not say to yourself that right, perhaps it might not be everyone else's fault? Perhaps I could take a little of the blame, and I mean you, not me, and see if you could take control of your life again. A very precious life that can be taken away from you in an instant. As your nan and granddad will tell you, they have never got over the death of their beloved brother. Well, my mum's brother got killed in a car accident. But there you are, you're not going down that road. I have great faith in you, Gary. I'm sure that you will think about things, and perhaps we could start with today, the first day of the rest of your life. I love you, darling, so please come back to us. My mum wrote that day after my birthday, you know, and I'd only literally started smoking crack about 3 years before that. But that shows that, to me, but already in 2004 I was gone. I was actually gone. I didn't come back until I found recovery.
God, that made me emotional.
It's you know, I've got.
That's so powerful.
That's man. Yeah, and I'll keep that in there. And I'd have been a bit more prepared because I've got some cards that she sent me on the way, like when I was in jail, and then.
That shows the pain that the families
go through. And then when I got into the treatment centre,
you've kept it all that time as well. Yeah. So even though it's like you knew what was, and I can tell by how emotional it made you. Yeah. Obviously, it really hit home as someone that close to you and that personal. Yeah. But obviously, the addiction continues, and it's. Yeah, I mean,
do you read that letter a lot?
only when I want to really fucking hang myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's a gentle reminder that, to me, that I was ill, that I was lost, that I had a supportive family that loved me.
Very much so. Tell that.
You know, and that, I think you might have heard me share it in the room. I became this person. I wasn't born this person. You know, as a 14-year-old, I was playing conkers, I was climbing trees. I had the whole world in front of me. You know, I had not so many ambitions because I didn't at that age, but I was free, and I can remember that freedom. You know, being half hour late home, that didn't matter because all you're going to do is get moaned at. But then going out on the summer holidays, all that freedom. And it's not till I got like clean with a bit of time under my belt, and in fact really more in the last 6 months, and even so in the last 2 weeks since my 3rd sobriety birthday, I've realised how free I am of this illness. You know, if I do this stuff on a daily basis. You know, I often say my prayers out in the morning. I don't get on my knees, I don't join my hands. I've got a cup of coffee in one hand, a fag in the other, and I'm chatting to my higher power like I'm chatting to you two. I'm not asking it for things, I'm just asking it to keep me safe, to make me a better person that day. You know, and that's how simple I do it. Please, mate, you know, if I've got a trouble, please help me with this. What's going to happen to this? You know, I ask for, I put the action in with prayers, and I surrender the outcome of what is going to be with them prayers. You know, I don't ask for silly stuff like a fucking new pair of trainers, but I do ask that I can remain kind, can remain of service to people, that I can just have a good day and hopefully help somebody. You know, and then my prayers are answered on a daily basis. But yeah, reading that letter now has just helped me just reflect on.
That's so powerful. That was. I had goosebumps when you're reading that out, and I think that is going to help so many people, because not only does it show the pain your mum was in, it shows how much pain that you were in when you were reading it as well, and you being an addict wasn't your fault. You were stuck in a rut, and what you do now for people is incredible, and I'm going to keep fucking saying that, and I'll tell everyone about it. I know you don't like it, but you've done your fucking mother proud now, and your kids and everyone. I'm fucking proud of you. Like you're an inspiration to me. I want to be like you, and that's why I help as many people as I can, because I want to lead by example like you do, and that's what this is all about. And I have managed to help a few people, and that wouldn't have been without. I still go to you for advice now. I've got a sponsor now. You're my sponsor. I'm taking someone through the steps tomorrow. I'm going through the major steps, and that's and then he'll be doing it to someone else, and that's how this works. It has a ripple effect on getting people better.
What you've just said there is so spot on, right? But you work this stuff when you're not in the rooms.
Yeah.
A lot of people say what they think they should say in meetings. You know, not people with long-term sobriety, people with short-term, and you know, it matters. I can remember having snooker lessons, right, with a guy we called him John Waistcoat. He used to give lessons to all the up and coming snooker people, and he used to say to me, "It's not what you do in this lesson; it's what you do in the 2 weeks that I'm not here."
Yeah.
You know, the same. It's not what we do in the rooms; it's what we do outside the rooms.
Yeah.
That's when you're truly working a program. You know, when you practice these principles in all your affairs to the best of your willingness. You know,
it'll become your sense of purpose.
Here's a funny thing. I knew when I was really ill, when I was at the depths of my illness, and I don't know how I knew this, but I knew that I would be more used to people. In my head, I used to fantasize about setting up a house, helping other people, but charging them. You know, it was a business thing, because I'm a business person.
Yeah.
And I used to think, my experience will help others, and I'll be able to get these young people, not knowing that this is all like junked up fucking crack pipe dreams.
Yeah.
You know, but there was something in there that was telling me that if I help others, even though I was putting a price on that, don't think I wasn't doing it kindness from my heart, because I was thinking how I can make money. That I weren't even thinking I'd get better out of it. I knew I'd have to be clean to do it, but I didn't want to be clean. Didn't know how to get clean. So it was all run, and then since the fog's been clearing over I remember them thought processes, you know. And so much so, even when I was about 7 months clean, and I was doing the Ed Sheeran concert, and I had stage call for it, so I was on the stage, and I was working with Ed Sheeran's crew, who all his pals, and I presented a thing to him to do a treatment centre in Suffolk, near where he lived, for addicts.
Yeah.
And I've still got to come across it the other day, actually, when it was like a character, and some people helped me put it together, and it was really good. Nothing ever come of it, but it just shows, from when I got clean, I knew that the way forward was step 12. But now I don't want nothing for it. I don't want to open a rehab centre. I don't want to I want to give it away. You know, that's what step 12 is, and step 12 is the most rewarding step out of them all. You know, step 5 is really rewarding, step 3 is rewarding. But step 12 is the continuous. 10, 11 and 12 I live in. But 12 is the last one. And that's my sponsors is to keep it, you've got to give it away.
And step 12, you hear in the rooms a lot, stick with the winners, don't you? And how you determine the winners is the people in the rooms that are the winners that don't want nothing from you but to get better. There's some people in there, as we know, that can be in there for the wrong reasons, but the people that want the real winners are the people like yourself that just want people to get better. They don't want anything from you, and that's how you determine it. But by that is step 12. The people that are trying to pass it on to other people, and that's how you stay sober, isn't it?
Someone give this stuff to me.
Yeah. I remember you saying that to me. It'd be selfish for me to keep it.
It'd be selfish for me to keep it. Why would I want to keep this?
Yeah.
You know, it don't cost me nothing.
Yeah.
And if I can help somebody feel as good as I feel on a daily basis, why wouldn't you give that to another person if they want it? You know, it's as simple as that. And you know, there's no dues or fees for this stuff. It's got to be given away. And I fucking love step 12.
Yeah.
You know, I do love the whole 12-step program. It's never let me down. This program has never once let me down. And there's not a lot I can say. Even my Sky TV lets me down when when the fucking weather's wrong. Do you know what I mean? Everything lets us down in life to a certain extent. But if I work these steps in all aspects of my life, it just won't let me down. It can't. It's designed.
I don't think the steps should just be for addicts. I think they should be teaching that in school. I think everyone should work through the steps.
God, I want to take my daughter from them so much, and my sister.
Yeah,
I could name them. You know, it is a design for life. Yeah, it's an amazing program.
It is. It really is. If there was any advice for anyone out here now that is struggling, not just on a relapse but struggling in general, what would you give them?
If anybody's just struggling in any aspect of life, if it be mental health, if it be addiction, if it be you're just fucking lonely, you know, talk to somebody.
Reach out.
Put a smile. Try and smile at somebody, and if you smile at somebody, people tend to smile back. You know, even if you've got to fake that smile just to get someone's attention, I think there's nothing better in this world than being loved, and being able to give somebody else that feeling of being loved. You know, just a hug, just some kind words to somebody. You know, just being kind words can change the course of someone's day. There's a lot of people out there who sometimes feel invisible. Just say hello. Yeah. Just say hello, because however bad your day is, there's some poor fucker out there who's having a worse day.
Kindness costs nothing at all, does it?
Nothing. It's nothing, and it's so nice to be nice.
Yeah.
You know, I've got there's a lady on reception downstairs. Her name's Jackie, and I call her the goose because she's like she's a tough cookie to break. You know, she's been in this job for a long time. But when I tell her hair looks nice, I don't have to mean it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't have to.
Yeah, the exact same approach.
Yeah.
When you get those people that sort of hard approach,
That's it, break them
you
down.
break them down with kindness, and they
Break
can't
them
help
down.
it. But yeah,
You know, and
that's very rewarding. to get that.
absolutely, and you know, she's my pal in some sick shape or form.
Yeah.
You know, it's just be kind, and if you that kindness will come back in other ways. You know, I practice being kind today, and it doesn't always get you instant rewards, but actually, if I keep on being kind, there's nothing better. You know, there's nothing better for my soul. You know, and just reach out to somebody, and if you want a hug, ask somebody for a hug. Ask a stranger for a hug. It might be a bit weird. You might get told to fuck off. But actually, it's a bit like my old dating sort of strategy. You know, I used to go in a pub and I'd ask 100 girls they look nice, right? And then, as they say, oh really? I go, oh no, sorry. Horrible. But I used to work on numbers, you know what I mean? Because there was no real emotion there. You know, out of 100 I'd dwindle down to 12. Out of 12 I'd dwindle down to 3 or 4, and you know, next thing I'd be buying them a pint of fucking cider. And try,
Tactics. But Gary, you're an absolute superstar. I said before you got to stick with the winners, you're definitely one of them, mate. And thank you so much for giving us your time today. That was really powerful.
Can I read one other thing out?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's given to me by
Please do.
my PA, who I've only known for less than a year. And she done this, and she'd already got me a card and present. She'd give this to me for my birthday. And she's a very spiritual person, is Laura. She's a yogi, so we connected straight away. And I love this. Now this is a bit of ego.
Yeah.
A little nod to an amazing man now that you're 50. It's unusual and rare to meet a soul like yours, one who has faced such adversity in their life but continues to remain kind and generous to others. You have the ability to enter a room and to make it brighter just because you're in it. Not often do we get to know others' views on us, so this is my extra gift to you. You are a wonderful person who never fails to surprise me. You not only wear your struggles with pride, but you give others a space to do the same. If you falter, you apologise and do better. If you crumble personally, you fight and rebuild. The way in which you treat others who have the privilege of knowing you is unparalleled. Those people benefit from a warmth and support like no others. There are many Garys in the world, but this one is very special. Never change. Keep continuing to show the kindness to others that you do to yourself. Keep striving to do better, to grow. Keep sitting in the uncomfortability that results in growth. Keep being you. Perhaps life really does start at 50.
I'll tell you what, Gary, I couldn't sum you up better than that myself. And that is spot on. That is spot on. People listening to this won't know exactly how much you do.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think that sort of stuff, that is... I mean, I think I'm very much the same. I've been through a lot and done a lot of things, and it takes someone like that to sort of recognise it. I'm just writing someone or something like that in a little card to you.
And you can see how much it means to you as well.
Oh Christ, yeah. Totally.
But she's spot on with every single word in that, 100% spot on. Gary, thank you so much for coming on. It means so much to me because you mean so much.
And thank you for sharing this story with me and everyone that tuned in.
I'm an open book, and I'm really grateful for you taking your time out and bringing your didgeridoo down so others can hear it. And if it helps anybody, I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you.
Thank you.